man. So we asking a simple question. Why should we publicly grade schools and teachers? That's what I really want to know. But we're going to think about that a little bit because we also going to talk about music, movies, sports, and more. That's all coming up. You kicking with KC, baby. Let's get into it, man. Popular topics that may or may not be talked about in the news with yours truly, KCMC, 10 plus years radio experience, and more. Let's get into it. Let's explore. This is coming from NBC Dallas Fort Worth, NBCDFW.com. A judge has temporarily blocked Texas Commissioner of Education Mike Morath from implementing changes to the grading system used by the Texas Education Agency, further known as TEA, to assign letter grades to schools based on their performance. Over 100 school districts had filed a lawsuit against the TEA over these new changes, which would potentially lower grades for some schools. The lawsuit argued that the changes were not communicated properly and came after a required deadline. The judge's ruling prevented the release of the new grades until the case is further decided. Supporters of the changes say they improve accountability, while opponents believe they could negatively affect schools and push for school choice. When I first read that, I said, potentially, why is school choice a threat? That's what I don't agree with. But looking at it from an objective scope, right, a wider lens, I completely understand, right? Essentially, you're saying, yeah, this could make the schools worse. You didn't give us a heads up about the criteria, the new qualities for this grading system. You could be implementing new changes and criteria for stuff that we weren't prepared for. You know, you could be talking about stuff that we necessarily don't pay too much, don't put on our high priority list. So why would you sit up here and come up with a new grading system? We've been running off the same grading system for oh so long. I can understand that, especially if it comes as a surprise. But here's what I want to say. Also objectively, but really subjectively. If you're not prepared as a school, then you're not prepared as a school. If you know you're lacking in certain areas, or you know you could get a lower grade in certain areas, how about you go fix that? How about you address that? How about you get that taken care of before you sit up here and blame the grading system for coming out rather than your whole system? Y'all feel like this is some type of conspiracy for them to kind of threaten y'all against having parents having school of choice? Huh? What? No. I agree with this. Adjust whatever kind of school grading system they got going on. The judge that blocked this, I don't agree with that. Okay, give them a little heads up. But at the same time, still make it a real quick deadline. Get on top of this. If y'all not on top of this, you're going to get the grade you get. And that's why I want to explore even further and say, should we publicly post the grades of these, not only the schools, but the teachers? You know how like in certain states, certain restaurants have to have literally the letter grade of their restaurant according to the health department posted so that the public can see it before they even walk into the facility? I think it should be the same thing for schools and teachers. So outside the school building, in a public window, they should have a letter grade. This is where we were ranked either amongst parents and or the state of Michigan. I'm talking about at least the state of Michigan. You can see the grades of all public schools. It's technically on the state website. But I feel like they should post it. Like a restaurant, post it right outside the school. Then inside the school, outside the classrooms, where the teachers are, they should post letter grades of the teacher. That should also come from a vote of not only the state, but the students. Now, some people argue these students too immature, middle school, elementary, high school, to vote on whether or not their teacher is legit. They can be going off any criteria. But this is what I want to say. Even to this day, a lot of people could tell you who their favorite teacher was. They're basing it off the criteria of not only how cool they were and let them get away with stuff, but probably how the fact that they actually taught them something. They actually left there with some type of knowledge. Their teacher was like, all right, yeah, I'll let y'all lag around. Y'all can do this. But first, you got to get your homework done. First, we got to get this lesson over real quick. Then I'll let you pull out your cell phones. That type of thing. So other than that, well, I ain't even gonna say other than that. I feel like that's the main reason why we should grade these teachers and let the students grade them. There we go right there. We should take it that much further. That should be required federally across all states. Publicly grade the students, the teachers and the schools. That's just what I think. Let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show. 313-466-4386. We switching it up real quick. I do want to talk about music if you don't mind. So we're going to get into the audio audit. Talk about a little bit of music if you don't mind. And we're going to first talk about this project that we listened to. This is from City Girls. It was called Raw. This was, how many tracks? This was actually 18 tracks, 44 minutes, just within my range of 30 minutes to 45 minutes that I prefer. If it's less than 30, I don't take it serious. More than 45, I feel like it's too long. I get bored and lose attention. But a couple songs stood out to me, but you might know this project because one song was a single that played on the radio. It was Good Love featuring Usher. So you might have heard that. If you heard that, that's a song from this project. Then a couple other songs did stand out to me. Static featuring Lil Durk. Now, I'm very critical of Lil Durk. That's what I will say. But this was actually a verse from him that I would appreciate. Didn't necessarily listen to the lyrics because I already know when it comes to Lil Durk, I might as well throw the lyrics out the window. Just listen to his flow. And even half that time, I'm like, ugh. But with this, it was actually nice. I feel like he made the song. So Static featuring Lil Durk. Then Lineup was decent. Face Down I like. And What You Want. Those all stood out to me. Those were 4 songs. Including the single, 5 songs. Out of 18, you shooting less than 30%. I'll probably say 25. That's not necessarily good. That's a little bit more than 25, but less than 30, like 27%. That's not good from the field. A lot of people were overly critical or judgmental about this project from City Girls. A lot of news came out floating around social media saying it was very low sales. I try to disregard all the hearsay and just listen to things and judge things on my own. But this project was all right. I know I'm not part of the audience. They don't want to talk to me. I'm a heterosexual black male in his mid-30s with a family. Y'all don't care about making music for me. You care about making music for girls who for my girl or other girls who gonna twerk for me or men like me. That's what I will say. Other than that, I do like, I like when female artists, rappers, R&B singers talk that ish. And they were talking that ish, but there are a few songs on here that were so bad that I just didn't like it all. I didn't write them down, but nonetheless, a couple songs stood out to me. But City Girls Raw, let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show 313-466-4386. I do want to talk about another project that I listened to. This was actually an R&B project. This is from Brent Faiyaz. It was called Larger Than Life. This was 14 tracks, 36 minutes. So just within my range, a little bit shorter, but just within my range of what I like. So Brent Faiyaz, I'll say this, I'm a little bit biased. I like this first project or his previous project, whichever that was. And I like this flow, I like the sound, I liked everything. It was decent. But this project, I'm not going to say I don't like it. There was something about it where I was like, I don't know. But there was still a few songs that stood out to me. Tim's intro, which is the first song, featuring Timbaland. That's who Tim is. That stood out. That was pretty decent. Last One Left featuring Missy Elliott and Lil Gray. That was the second song. Forever Yours was the third song. Best Time was the fourth song. And the fifth track on here was Big Mad Skit. It was a skit. And I even liked that. So the first 5 songs flowed through. It was nice, if you ask me personally. Now, the thing I like is that it has skits. It has skits that created a theme. I like when projects have skits that create a theme. It's not just songs, straight up music. It's like, listen to this too. It's going to flow with it. It's going to create a segue. It's going to create more visuals in your head that you can actually go with this whole project. And I was kind of able to do that with this. So I like that part about it. That was 7 songs out of 14. That's half. Shooting 50%, you're doing well if you ask me. Even a couple other songs were nice. They just didn't stand out. But at least 2 or 3 of them, I'll say 3, that was like, I don't like this song at all. So let's say 11 out of 14 were actually pretty solid. That is a very good percentage if you ask me. So I would recommend to listen. Replay value, I don't know if I'll necessarily go back and want to listen to a Brent Faiyaz Larger Than Life. I'll probably go back to his first project, because first albums from a lot of artists are probably their best. But nonetheless, not that much replay value, but still a good project. I would recommend Larger Than Life. And let me know what you think of if you did listen to it. Go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show. 313-466-4386. Let's switch it up, baby. Yeah, man, I want to talk about movies and TV shows that we saw on Corn Stream, scenes I saw. Starting off with Old Dads. Very nice movie. Saw this on Netflix, no endorsement. Hour 44 minutes. It was a comedy starring Bill Burr, the comedian, Bokeem Woodbine, and Bobby Cannavale. I don't know who that last dude was. It's about a hot-headed dad played by Bill Burr and his two buddies clash with 20-something-year-old CEOs, preschool principals, and anything made after 1987 in this raucous comedy. If I even said that right. But the point is, this was a nice movie. Very, very nice movie. Well put together, good acting. I feel like I laughed, I almost cried. I felt certain emotions about a lot of different scenes, and that's how you create a good movie. That's how you create a good movie. Me, born in 1989, I can relate to a lot of stuff that they were talking about. I can relate to Gen X. I can relate to Gen Z, because I'm Gen Y. So I can relate. I'm half internet, half before internet. So I get it. And this was very, very nice, very solid. I would recommend it to any and everybody. I actually enjoy Bill Burr's comedy too. So maybe I'm a little bit biased. When I saw him and Bokeem Woodbine, I said, yo, I gotta check this out. Bokeem Woodbine is a black dude that played in a lot of black classic movies. So I gotta check this out. And it paid off. So that's what I wanted to say. Old Dads on Netflix, no endorsement. Just wanted to recommend that. Or let me know what you think. If you did see it, go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show, 313-466-4386. This other movie I did see, I literally just watched this, finished watching this. It's called The Meal. Saw this on Hulu, no endorsement. Hour 46 minutes, science fiction / thriller. Starring Lil Rel Howery. A businessman, played by Lil Rel, wakes up beside an ancient grist mill situated in the center of an open-air prison cell with no idea how he got there. Forced to work as a beast of burden to stay alive, he must find a way to escape before the birth of his child. This is a very different movie, but science fiction, so you expect it to be different. What I think is, this had a great potential to be a great movie. It was a good movie, but it had potential to be a great movie. I wouldn't even say it was executed poorly. It's just that Lil Rel, as a comedian, I don't know why he starred in this movie. It didn't require any comedy whatsoever. Not to say that comedians can't play serious roles, which is why I feel like they choose these roles so they can be looked at as serious. But I didn't like this for Lil Rel. I feel like y'all needed another actor, an actual actor, not a stand-up comedian / actor. So his acting was just bad. Just wanted to put it out there. Lil Rel's acting was bad. I feel like if you imagine anybody else in that role, it could have been done decently. It could have been done decently, and you'd have been like, wow. I feel like it's basically, the moral of it is basically talking about how we all get stuck at our job. He was basically stuck somewhere where he had to push a heavy concrete cement wheel in a circle for like 14 hours a day, essentially. And he had to meet certain goals, certain quotas, and if they didn't meet it, they would get terminated, which was very, very bad apparently. And he held high standards. But, they were talking about, I think the name of the company was Mallard, and they say, Mallard, your company for life. I think it's just like a simile to what real world is. The real world is. A lot of us feel like we're tied up to our job, and we have to be there, and we have to over meet quotas and, overextend ourselves to meet their goals, and work long hours and slave ourselves. And we feel like we're at that job for life, even though A lot of times you're retiring after 40 years, 30-something years in some cases. Yeah, like you still feel like you've been there your entire life. So that's what I feel like this is basically expressing, conveying. Yeah, the feeling of being somewhere that you have to work all your life and getting little small awards. This dude got a pen with his name engraved for turning a big cement block or cement wheel like 100+ times. It was crazy. But anyway, I would recommend it. Check it out. But I still feel like Lil Real, you didn't need to be in this movie. But go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show. Let me know what you think. 313-466-4386. We about to switch it up real quick if you don't mind. Let's talk about sports, baby. From the stands of a sports fan, my man's Pots and Pans. Let's get into it. Talking about, the NBA real quick. I want to talk about the NBA real quick before we even get on actual games and stuff. Not even international players. Kevin Durant, first and foremost. He scored a game-high 39 points and a 100-95 loss to the Lakers on Thursday night. In the process, the future Hall of Famer, past Hall of Famer Hakeem Olajuwon for the 12th on the all-time scoring list. So yeah, Hakeem Olajuwon had 26,946 points. Kevin Durant, as of Saturday, October 28th, has 26,949 points. So it looks like he could very well exceed a few other people ahead of him on the list. Number 11, Elvin Hayes, has 27,313 points. So he's only 364 points away from him. Moses Malone, he's only 460 points away from him. Carmelo Anthony, 1,340 points away from meeting him or beating him. That's when it gets a little difficult. And then Shaquille O'Neal, 1,647 points away from meeting Shaquille O'Neal, who has 28,596 points. So Kevin Durant got a lot of work to do, but people are saying if he's on pace to average a pretty decent number, he could pass Carmelo Anthony by the end of the season, or at least by the beginning of next season, at the very least. And then pass Shaquille O'Neal by next season for sure. So a lot of people are speculating that he could end up maybe in the top 5 is what I'm looking at. Top 5. Depends on what happens to him. Depends on when he retires. He keeps going at this pace, you could end up in at least the top 5. There's a a very steep hill to climb. But nonetheless, if you really want your name cemented, you go that far. But this is what I want to say with that being said. There's a difference between scorers and killers. I mentioned this a little bit before in my last show, but I want to talk about this a little bit more. Scores can make this list. You score a lot of points individually, you can make this list. Like Carmelo Anthony, like Kevin Durant. But that doesn't necessarily mean you get a ring. There's 2 people out of the top 10 who do not have a ring. You got Karl Malone at number 2, Carmelo Anthony at number 9. Both ringless. So what's the point? What's the point of scoring all these points? You don't get a win. I mean, you don't get that win, is what I'm saying. So I feel like, yeah, that stat alone lets you know there's a difference between people or players who scores, and then killers, who's coming down the court asking for the ball every time and really taking control of the whole play or drive and only passing when they feel like they need help. That's it. Other than that, those are killers. Taking the destiny into their own hands, taking the credit for the win and the losses, and calling for the ball and passing it when they feel like it's necessary. You don't see that in certain players such as Anthony Davis. And I can call out a few other ones. Different between scorers and killers, but that's just what I want to say. Let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show, 313-466-4386. Jason Kidd predicts the NBA will be half international players by 2030. As the 2023-24 season begins, 120 international players comprised of 26.7% of the 450 players on opening rosters. No season opener epitomizes the trend more than Dallas Mavericks versus San Antonio Spurs on Wednesday night. That was October 26th to 5th, by the way, with a combined 15 international players, including 8 on the Dallas Mavericks, which ties for the most in the NBA. Very significant. something I want to point out, because a lot of people argue whether or not, the best players play in the NBA or if the best players are international, whatever the case may be. This is what I will say. The best players, even if they're internationally born, end up coming to the NBA for the most part. So it is what it is. Yeah, they do come to the NBA. This is where the money is, the marketing. It's the number one country in the world. So that's like being in the number one market in the country, New York. So I get that. Yeah, take advantage of that, shine, get your name passed around. But what I also want to say is, I feel like the best players are actually from other countries. We already talked about in my last show about most of the NBA MVP candidates are international players. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic. There's a few other players we can name. So I don't necessarily feel like American-born players are really good players when it comes to foreign players. Because it's starting to level out. It's going to level out, if not get more. So that means the average opportunity for the average American player to play in the NBA, you're only going to have 225 slots. Used to have almost 500. Now you got 225 coming up in a couple years by the time you get of age. Now, should we be rooting for these kids to be going to the NBA and taking up these slots, or should we be trying to get them to be scientists, doctors, lawyers, those type of things? Let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show, 313-466-4386. Speaking on James Harden real briefly, real quick. Just want to say that he did return to the 76ers facility on Wednesday, but he won't play in the first two games. He didn't play against the Milwaukee Bucks, which I believe the 76ers lost. They did. Then the Toronto Raptors they have to play coming up. This is what I will say. Coach Nick Nurse says he has to get ramped up and prepared like the rest of the team. I agree with that. You can't just come off a flight from wherever you came from with your bags thinking you're just about to play. We're not doing that over here. You're going to earn your spot just like everybody else earned their spot, and then we'll let you on. If that's the case. If that's the case. We already built plays around these certain players. You missed it. So anyway, shout out to Coach Nick Nurse for sitting James Harden down. As far as actual games this season, NBA regular season continues. Celtics win at home against the Heat, 119-111. Tyler Herro, 28.6 rebounds, 6 assists. Jimmy Buckets is a little disappointing for the second game in a row. 14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Bam Adebayo, 27.7 rebounds, 2 assists. Jason Tatum, 27 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. And Jaylen Brown, 27 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. Oh, Drew Holiday, 17 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. We got a double-double alert on the court, by the way. So, yeah, the Celtics did their thing against them, against the Heat. But I think y'all got to get it together. If y'all can't spread that margin by a little bit more, especially being at the crib, y'all ain't doing something right. One of y'all being distracted by something is what I will say. But I do want to speak very briefly on the San Antonio Spurs. Victor Wembanyama, he beat the Rockets, helped them beat the Rockets 126-122. He had 21 points, 12 rebounds, 1 assist. Jalen Green, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. And Van Vliet, 24 points, 8 rebounds, 12 assists. Then we got to talk about my Detroit Pistons real quick, man. They beat the Hornets. Shout out to them at Little Caesars Arena, 111-99. Beef Stew, 15 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist. Jalen Durant, 14 rebounds, 17 rebounds, 3 assists. And Cade Cunningham, 12 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists. I don't necessarily feel like we need to accept this from a former number 1 draft pick. We need to be going ham, Detroit, because this ain't what we signed up for. Gordon Hayward had 15.7 rebounds, 1 assist, and Terry Rozier, 20 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. So that tells you everything you need to know. But what I will say is it also exposed a lot of dudes with girls. Like, Mom, what the heck you doing? What the heck? I ain't gonna lie. I must be tripping. I must be tripping. All right, so I'm a little bit sleepy. I ain't gonna lie, because I feel like I just said something that didn't make sense. Moving on to the NFL real quick. We're gonna hurry up and get up out of here because I feel like I said something that didn't make no sense. The NFL Week 8 started with Thursday Night Football. Tampa Bay Bucks lose to the Bills 18-24. About that game real quick. The Bucks were down most of the game. They were down 14 points, 10-24 in the fourth quarter, but Baker Mayfield connected with Mike Evans for a touchdown that came off of the defender's helmet, by the way. Mike Evans caught it. Then they actually caught a 2-point conversion, which was deflected, and then the receiver caught that, making it 18-24. Surprisingly enough, the Bucks did put on the defense on the Bills enough to get the ball in 20 seconds. Now Mayfield threw a Hail Mary to the touchdown, but unusually, it just hit the ground. It hit the ground, bro. Nobody actually caught the ball. Nobody swatted the ball. Nobody made no connection. Not paying attention. It looked very, very weird for a play that was supposed to be a winning play. So it was a waste of a play if you ask me. And I feel like with that being said, the Bucks deserve to lose. So congratulations to the Bills for getting that win. I can't believe I don't even know what I just said. I'm going to have to watch this episode over, bro. I dozed off for a quick second. But anyway, that's it in regards to the NFL. Let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show, 313-466-4386. Let me double check. I think that's it in regards to sports. Other than that, in sports, though, I do want to say MLB World Series right now. Diamondbacks, Arizona. They play at Texas against the Rangers. Game 1 of the World Series, and the Rangers beat the Diamondbacks 6-5 in 11 innings. I watched like maybe 2 innings of it. It was pretty decent. Didn't get the finish, but shout out to Arizona for being in the World Series. A name you don't hear too often. The Astros not in the World Series. Thank you, God. That cheating ass team. But that's pretty much it, man. Other than that, let me know what you think in regards to all of the other stuff in sports. Go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show. 313-466-4386. Before we get up out of here, man. Thinking out loud. So I just want to say, you know how I be knowing a lot of y'all be in these relationship situations, relationship problems? Because of what you post on social media. Post these religious posts, these I deserve better, these I wish I could get away, or unbaby daddy me, or whatever other type of posts y'all be having on social media. We be watching and looking like, oh, so you just having man issues right now. Like, it just looks weird because you put your business out there like that. So we're all judging you and how inconsistent you are in relationships. You could be inconsistent, or you could just have whatever relationship problems. We don't have to know about them. But just don't post them. Other than that, you can post all you want. But we're just going to know when you're going through stuff. But let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show, 313-466-4386. That's just me thinking out loud. We about to get up out of here. But first, kick it with KCMC on all social media at KIWKCMC on all social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all that at KIWKCMC. And social love to my sponsor too, Team Elite. They're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, also at Team Elite 313, TEAMELITE 313. And check out their premium urban-based athleisure wear. That's t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, tech fleece, jogger sets, varsity sets, and more. It's all on their website, teamelite313.com. Ask your mom. Use code KIWKCMC for that discount. Appreciate you for kicking with me on this early morning / late Friday night, man. Tried to do a show on Thursday, but you know how it is. But anyway, we're going to try to get back on it on Sunday with another show for you. If you got this far, hit that like button, please and thank you. Appreciate you. It's for the free ski, but if you really want to show some love, donate a couple dollars to the show so we can grow. We appreciate that. This is my Cash App right here. Go ahead and check that out. Other than that, man, tell a friend and tell a friend. Subscribe, hit the alert button so you know when we going live. We